It's good with the gang. CPETEMMA with the boy Cam MMA. How you been, brother?
I've been good, my brother. Thank you for asking. It is good to be back. We had a 1 week hiatus, about to say a week and a half ish, but we are back. Had a beautiful past weekend with Arnold Allen versus Milky Costa. That was a banger. Had Poliana Viana, Hall of Famer Duho Choi, Daniel Santos, prospect Malcolm Wellmaker versus Juan Diaz. That was a banger. Way to introduce yourself, Juan Diaz. Beautiful weekend. Beautiful results. We got a
Francis is back too. First round KO. Michael
Francis
Perry.
Ngannou.
Michael
Francis
Perry,
Ngannou.
as Connor would call him. Return of the Mac as well versus Maxwell.
Absolutely.
Jerome versus Max too. Connor versus Jerome too.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir. Jerome bless
Dope.
Max Holloway. He back. Yes, sir.
Versus Connor.
Return of the Mac.
The
Oh,
real
my
goat's
goodness.
back.
Return of the Mac. Y'all see it. Return of the Mac himself. He has been spoken upon. Return of the Mac. Lord have mercy. In 2026, Conor McGregor is officially coming back. Pete, the question is Conor McGregor actually coming back? That is the question of the week. That is the question of the day. That is the question of the hour. Is he really coming back? Will he make that walk, Pete?
I think so. I think he'll do it this time. Because if he doesn't, he's never coming back. So now's his last time to do it. I don't like the matchup, to be honest with you, especially after 5 years off. But may the best man win. And hey, bro, he's done it before. Let him fucking do it again, you know what I'm saying? Fucking, it's at 170. He'll probably be the bigger man. He's got fucking that left hand. He's got the timing. But the question is, does he still have, you know what I'm saying? He has had all that in the past, right? The explosiveness, the timing, his last finish of Cerrone, that was his last win over 6 years ago now, but that was a crazy knockout. So, what type of Conor McGregor are we going to see, And Max got wrestled up in his last fight. Conor did do that in their first matchup, but that was 13 years ago, So, hey, man, it'll be interesting to see what goes on.
That was a fact. That was a fact. I like how you did that. I love how you did that because Max Holloway in his last fight, I was completely wrong. I had Max Holloway winning that fight. He got wrestled up for 5 rounds. And it was a beautiful performance. I don't care what anybody says. BMF this, BMF that. You controlled Max Holloway for 22 plus minutes. That is extremely, extremely, extremely impressive. And we have to give you your props. But once again, me personally, I'm also giving Max Holloway his props. Because how did you survive with one of the most dangerous submission specialists of all time? Yes, I said it, of all time. Charles Oliveira is one of the best submission specialists of all time. And the fact that he had you in one of the most... Mateus Gamrot. See, look, my thing is, I think Mateus Gamrot is a better grappler than Max Holloway. Mateus Gamrot couldn't, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't handle the pressure. So it's like Max Holloway, he's something special. You know what I'm saying? Yes, like you just said, that first fight between Max Holloway and Conor McGregor, I watched the fight. It was a super weird fight to me because the reason why it was so weird is because when I had watched the fight, Max Holloway just looked so young. You know what I'm saying? So it looked so dangerous. McGregor just looked so older and elevated and just way more experienced at the time. And he played that fight very safe. Holloway, ever since his first fight in the UFC, always been a very volume striker. Always jab, jab, jab. Always setting the volume, setting the pace. Always getting his jab going early. You know what I'm saying? Getting his striking going early. Conor McGregor had a beautiful game plan in their first fight. He wrestled him in the first fight. You know what I'm saying? Max Holloway just got wrestled his last fight, so he's looking to stand up. I don't think McGregor's looking to wrestle with him. I think he's looking to go in there, break pay-per-view numbers. Oh my gosh, AP. McGregor is coming back. This is crazy. Let me talk to you, Pete. I'm sorry. I know I'm just talking a lot, but let me talk to you, Pete. So I'm laying down on my bed watching the fights, right? And I'm just hearing DC talk, right? And then the McGregor and Holloway just come up, and then I see Patty versus BSD. I grab my phone immediately, Pete, and I just go and I record, and I make my video. Lord have mercy. Y'all see my reaction. It's on my Instagram page. Lord have mercy. I was hyped as I don't know what. I didn't know how to act, Pete, but yes, that was crazy. That was crazy. In the middle of the main card, and the card was a banger. Shout out to Ketlin Figueiredo. And my last thing before I pass it off to you, Pete. Shout out to Jacqueline Cavalcante. That was a good fight because it does take two. A lot of people got to realize that. I don't care what anybody says. It was a great fight. We got stand-up. We got the grappling. It was just a really good fight. And shout out to Ketlin Figueiredo. You know what I'm saying? She got the dub. It was a beautiful fight. That was a very good fight. That was a very underrated fight. And also, UFC, I got to critique you just a little bit. That was very disrespectful. Having a top 10 fight, you know what I'm saying, aka a top 5 fight, because we had a top 5 fighter fighting and they fight in the prelims. UFC, you know what I'm saying, I love the UFC, but we have to do better on that one, you know what I'm saying. It's no trash talk, it's no shit talk. We have to do better. That fight could have at least been the featured prelim, the opening to the main card. Pete, you give me your thoughts on that, but I feel like they did us just a little bit dirty. Come on, we gotta give us our spots now. We earned it. We top 5. We top 5 in the bantamweight.
I agree on that for sure.
We top 5 in the bantamweight.
They definitely, and they weren't even like high on the prelims either. They were like maybe middle of the 3rd or 4th fight up, 5th fight up at the most. But yeah, it should have been on the main card, especially on the Apex when they don't have a bunch of name value. People know Ketlin Vieira. People know Jacqueline Cavalcanti. You know, undefeated. Well, not undefeated, but she was undefeated in the UFC before Saturday. And Ketlin Vieira, you know, she's fought Kayla Harrison. I seen her fight Kayla Harrison in person, which was actually a pretty close fight, in my opinion. And I was going for Kayla Harrison, but yeah, her fight with Norma Dumont was a split too. So she's had some close fights. She's beat some good fighters. And she just fought a super smart game plan, in my opinion. First round, it was close. You know, it could have swung either way, but I think she did more volume, landed the better boxing exchanges. Cavalcanti was a little hesitant in the beginning, so yeah. And then second round, she got the takedown and just controlled her the entire round. Perfect game plan, perfect timing, very smart. And third round, Cavalcanti honestly looked really good in the third round, but it was just too little, too late. She won the third round, but she lost the first two. Would have loved to see 5 rounds, to be honest with you. I think that would kind of be a banger main event, but yeah, honestly, I wouldn't have minded it, especially because Cavalcanti is, I believe, born in Brazil, but she fights out of Portugal, so she reps both of them. And then, you know, Ketlin's obviously Brazil, so it's a cool little matchup, you know.
They will definitely meet again in the future. That was they potentially can't, because I feel like Cavalcante will be a top 5 fighter, and you see what the UFC tried to do there. They was like, okay, let's give you Ketlin Vieira. Ketlin Vieira's coming off of a loss against Norma Dumont, so she does have to do her dirt, and she does have to fight an up-and-comer. And we do like Jacqueline Cavalcante, so we want to give her a test. We want to give her a big test, a top 5 test. Me personally, Pete, I think it was a little too early. So that's why I think we will see a rematch. But also, let me talk to you. I love how you just said that would have been a banger main event. That was a good fight. And I feel like Ketlin Vieira fought the way that she fought that fight because it was a 3-round fight. If that was a 5-round fight, we would have seen a way different fight. Ketlin probably would have never decided to stand up in the 3rd round. You know what I'm saying? Because technically, the way she controlled Cavalcante in the 2nd round, it almost looked like she could have did it again in the 3rd round. You get what I'm saying? It was like it was a choice to stand up in the 3rd round. You get what I'm saying? I mean, what do you think? Cavalcante did a good job of just keeping her distance? Yeah, we can give her that too, but just the way that she controlled Cavalcante on the ground and the way that she got her there, and Cavalcante couldn't advance, you know what I'm saying, or get off of her back, that was a phenomenal round. That was, I'm not even about to lie to you, that was like a 10-8 round. I mean, you tell me, Pete, that was a 10-8 round. That was I'm sorry. That wasn't a 10-8 round?
Nah. Not enough damage, brother.
I like that, Pete. Thank you for calling me out.
She didn't do any damage, but it was a beautiful round.
I think she landed up.
I do agree with you that if she, I could be wrong. I don't think she even attempted a takedown in the 3rd. So, if she would have expended the energy and went for one, she might have gotten it, to be honest. And yeah, Cavalcante was not doing a great job of getting up in the 2nd round. Like, she just held guard, threw a couple elbows off her back, but she wasn't doing much. I don't know. It looked like she kind of got, I don't want to say exposed, but definitely showed a weakness in her game that if she gets taken down, that, you know, she might have a hard time getting up. Especially, Ketlin's a pretty big bantamweight, you know. She's tall and, you know, pretty filled out and strong. So it's hard to get up from her when she's in top position. But yeah, that was a good one.
And
it might have been a little too much too soon for Cavalcante, honestly.
I agree. I 100% agree with that one. And I also really wish that would have been a main event because we got 2 tall bantamweights, Pete. That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Two of the tallest bantamweights in the UFC. It was just so disrespectful having that fight so early on the prelims. I wish that fight would have got a little bit more love. But that fight, it was a pretty solid fight. But we also had another banger fight on the card, which was also the lock of the week. That cashed, 3rd round submission. You want to give her the introduction, Pete? Nicola.
Go ahead.
I'm butchering it. You want to hear me butcher it? I
Dude,
will
don't
butcher
put me
it.
on the spot.
I'll butcher it, though.
I'll butcher it right now, too. Cagliari.
I love how he caught what I was trying to do.
I don't know if I said.
I'm done, bro. I'm so cooked. Like, Lord. He said.
Did I say Cagliari? Yeah, Nicole.
My brother said.
I think I did. I don't know. I might have fucked it up too.
My brother
Muito
said.
respeto.
My bad, Pete. That's on me. Fuck, bro. I'm trying to be a content creator. It's over for me, bro. Bro, it's over. It's over. It's over for me. Why, bro? Why do I joke around? Bro, why, bro? Why? Just why? Hold on, bro. Hold on, I gotta get it. Hold on, but I'm gonna be right back. Give me like 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Looking at
Hold on, yeah, you doing something. Damn. Ooh. Ooh. Alright, my bad. I'm trying to be serious now. Alright, let's lock back in. But Nicole Cagliari, lock of the week, lock of the day, lock of the night, cash
Lock of the
third
year.
round submission, beautiful game plan. Me personally, Pete, can you hear me? You can hear me good? I loved the game plan. She came up in the fight looking to make a statement in a stacked division full of killers. If you really watch the fights, you break down division per division per division. One of the most stacked divisions in the UFC, in all of MMA. That was a statement victory, trying to send a notice. When we talk about making a statement and sending a notice, that is how you do it. You control your opponent, you assert your dominance, and you get the finish. It was a beautiful performance. It was a beautiful pick from me and Pete. It was their first cash of many. Shout out to Nicole Cagliari for the beautiful submission round 3
Show 'em
victory.
up all the bands.
Phenomenal performance, phenomenal victory. And also, Pete, me personally, UFC, I think she should have got performance of the night. What you think? Talk to me. It was a dominant performance and it was the finish over Shannon, who does have the hype behind her. She does have, you know what I'm saying, her potential. She is a fighter who had her own, you know what I'm saying, her own rights, you know what I'm saying? Her own respect and her own rights, you know what I'm saying? That was a beautiful statement performance. That was a beautiful submission win. Dominated the fight. Got the submission in the third round. You gotta give it to her.
Got performance of the night?
It was Juan Diaz. He got the submission over Malcolm Wellmaker. Fight of the night was Doo Ho Choi versus Daniel Santos. We're gonna get to that fight. That fight was a banger, Pete. Listen, Doo Ho Choi is in the Hall of Fame for a reason. He showed it. Daniel Santos is going to be a problem. He showed it.
Willie Santos?
Yes, Willie Cat Santos. Just the way he was throwing the wheel kicks. I'm talking about he was trying to connect Choi head so bad in that fight. It was his mission. The only thing that he did was he was trying to make a statement. He was trying to show everybody, okay, the UFC gave me a co-main event, and I'm about to show you why they put me and Doo Ho Choi in the co-main event. Doo Ho Choi is a Hall of Famer. He is in his co-main event spot, okay? He had his banger fight with Doo Ho Choi. I mean, he had his banger fight with Cub Swanson. That fight will go down in history. It still is. Instant classic. You can watch that fight. You're going to fall in love with the UFC if you're not a fan. And if you are a UFC fan, you can go back and watch that fight anytime. You know what I'm saying? Doo Ho Choi, Cub Swanson, instant classic. That was a banger. Facts. But Willie Cat Santos, his job or his goal, his mission was to go in this fight and was to show the entire world in the biggest spotlight of his career, which was a co-main event, everybody watching, because they tuning in for Melky Costa versus Arnold Allen. Is Melky Costa going to win 7 straight, or is Arnold Allen going to bounce back and show he is still that? But before we get to that, we got a Holly Famer. Yes, I said Holly, because we got a Holly Famer in Do Ho Choi, and we got a up and comer who never been finished before this fight, and Daniel Santos. You know what I'm saying? So he's in this big position. He's gonna go out there and he's going to showcase his skills. He's dangerous. Those kicks are nothing to play with. He's Giga Chikadze. This dude is Giga Chikadze with more dangerous kicks. You know what I'm saying? Giga Chikadze's not throwing kicks like that, but his kicks are dangerous. He's Giga Chikadze with more dangerous kicks. He's looking to throw them heads, and he has some very good boxing. His boxing is underrated. He has them Brazilian hands. Daniel Santos is a star. He's a star. I don't care. He's a star. I don't care. Even in a loss, his stock went up. Fighters like that are the best type of fighters. I love when fighters can lose a fight, but they're still gaining value because he's showing that he's very dangerous in a fight like this. And even losing to Do Ho Choi, me personally, he didn't lose anything. They could still give him somebody on Do Ho Choi's level and he can beat him. You know what I'm saying? It's Do Ho Choi. But on the other hand, shout out to Do Ho Choi. That is a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. He will always... Me personally, I got a weird connection with Do Ho Choi because if you know me, Cub Swanson is one of my favorite fighters. So shout out to Cub Swanson. I've always had this weird relationship with Do Ho Choi. I've always liked him because of his fight with Cub Swanson. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to love Do Ho Choi. And I'm pretty sure that's why a lot of other people love Do Ho Choi too. But I actually like Do Ho Choi and I want him to do good. And he's still active and he is 35 years old. That does break my heart just a little bit. But I want Do Ho Choi to do good. He's on a 3-fight win streak. UFC, let's give him a top 15 opponent. Shout out to MMA Fiends. MMA Fiends. He does matchmakings after every fight. He does collabs with Pete. He's a wonderful dude. Very nice guy. Talk to him every weekend. Just a very good dude.
Shout out to the GOAT, MMA Fiends. Everyone follow him on Instagram.
Yes, MMA Fiends.
_Fiends.
Yes, sir. Make sure you hit him up too. Very, very nice guy. Always showing love and support. He said his next fight should be David Onama. I'm not gonna get into it. You know what I'm saying? That's a banger fight. You know what I'm saying? That's a banger fight.
Willie Santos versus Onama or Do Ho Choi?
No. Do Ho Choi. Do Ho Choi
David
versus David Onama.
Yeah, I like
Give
that.
him a top 15 opponent.
That's a banger.
That's a good fight. But hear me out. You gonna call me crazy, and that's fine. And not just you, people who watch this video gonna call me crazy. Do Ho Choi, Kevin Vallejos. I know, but I claim that you was gonna call me crazy. This is why
you're crazy. I'm just saying the UFC won't do that because it just doesn't make any sense. Mainly because Do Ho Choi is unranked, even if they put him in the top 15, they're trying to move Kevin Vallejos up the pedestal. You know, they want to move him up to the top 5. Realistically, they want to give him 2 more fights to the title. You know what I'm saying? What is he like? Is he 12 or 11 or 10 right now? He's one of those.
He's one of those 3. I can't remember.
So they'll probably give him a top 5 or another higher top 10 matchup, and then a top 5 title eliminator if he wins the fight before that. And then I think they honestly want to push him to the title because, you know, Argentina MMA, they don't have a lot of people right now. They got Eileen, Esteban Rivovic. But I do want to shout out MMA Latino because that's the homie from Argentina. And, you know, got to shout out Argentina and Esteban Rivovic and Kevin Vallejos, of course, El Chino. He's a GOAT. But, yeah, I think they're trying to push him to a title quick, honestly. And you know what? Honestly, what they want to do, and I could see happening eventually, you know, I'm saying this now in May of 2026, I could see a Gene Silva 2 for a title, potentially, or a title eliminator. South America versus South America, you know, Argentina versus Brazil 2. And I know one thing I remember, because I have a good memory, you said it to me a while ago on the pod. You said Kevin Vallejos just looked like a kid in the first fight to you. You said it looked like it wasn't even fair. I remember you saying that. And I'm like, that's probably true. He was like 20 or 21. And I don't know how much older Gene Silva is than him. Probably, I think Gene's 28 or 29, something like that. But yeah, I mean, he's grown now. He's 24, I want to say. Right? Is he 24? Something like that. He's really young still, but he's a man now. He's grown up in the UFC, and his boxing sharp. He can finish people, and I mean, him and Gene are literally like very, very similar fighters. Very similar. I'm trying to think, Gene throws maybe a little bit more kicks. I don't know. Gene's a good grappler too. He's got underrated grappling, so I don't know who the advantage would be, but man, I would love to see Kevin Vallejos versus Gene Silva too, man. I think that's a fight we're going to see in the future, no doubt about it. Unless, I don't know. I think it's inevitable at this point. And they should do it in South America.
So look, I love everything you said, and that's a fact. Because what you did was you said a lot of facts, but this is my thing, and this is what we said before we started recording. The MMA fans are my problem with Kevin Vallejos getting pushed. He's super young. So look at this. This is my thing on why I said Doo Ho Choi versus Kevin Vallejos. And I'm not crazy. I mean,
you don't want to ruin a good thing too quickly, We've seen it before.
Thank you, Pete. But hear me out, though. It's a win-win for both. You know what I'm saying? It really is. Because I can break it down for you, Pete. I can break it down. We can start with Doo Ho Choi. So Doo Ho Choi, he's already 17-4 with one no contest, right? So fighting Kevin Vallejos, you gain a top 15 ranking next to your name towards the end of your career, which is amazing. You get your 18th MMA victory, which is another win, okay? You can choose to retire right there, which would be an amazing end to your career, which you could retire at like 36 years old, 37 years old, which would be cool, right? Okay? Or you can continue to fight, and you could fight towards a belt. You're from Korea. You know what I'm saying? There's a market over there, but you will be towards 40 years old if you decide to do that. But you know what I'm saying? There's options there for Doo Ho Choi. And then on top of that, Kevin Vallejos is going to be a star. You know what I'm saying? So if Doo Ho Choi does get the victory over Kevin Vallejos and he decides to retire, he ends his career on beating a legend of the sport. Because I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. Pete called me crazy. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Kevin Vallejos will be a legend in MMA. Yeah. I think the potential is there.
Yeah, but I just think it wouldn't make sense to do that, mainly because, if he beats Kevin Vallejos and then just retires, then it's not gonna look good for Kevin. They're just gonna ruin a good star, you know what I mean? It's gonna set him back big time, Kevin Vallejos. I mean, yeah, but there is a chance they could put Doo Ho Choi in the rankings, like top 15, maybe. This is the problem with him, though. If you look at his record, he's incredibly inactive, and that's what screws him over, His last fight before this was Nate Landwehr, and I think it was UFC 310 in December of 2024. It's a fucking long time ago. And it was a KO win. It was a great win, but, he's got to be more active. They're not going to reward him with Kevin Vallejos when he's this inactive. And I don't know what the reason is. Maybe he gets hurt or he has visa issues or something since he's in Korea, but I don't know. If he was more active, though, and he keeps winning fights, give him like he gets another really impressive knockout, they might make that fight. But realistically, I think David Onama makes more sense, mainly because David Onama lost his last fight, and he's like in the lower top 15. I think he might be 15, but he's a really good fighter, well-rounded, good knockouts. But yeah, I don't know. That would be a good fight, honestly. I think that would be a banger. Put it on a pay-per-view.
See, my thing is, I just disagree with you just a little bit, Pete. Like, I don't disagree with you too much because it's the fans. You know what I'm saying? If he loses to Doo Ho Choi, it'll push him back. Me personally, this is my opinion. If Kevin Vallejos loses to Duho Choi, if that fight were to happen, me personally, I'm not holding it against Kevin Vallejos because you already lost to Gene Silva. You're not perfect, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? You lost to Gene Silva. Look at Gene Silva. You lost to Duho Choi. Okay, look at Duho Choi. Duho Choi just beat Daniel Santos. Look at Daniel Santos. You know how many people
but
off Duho Choi?
Gene Silva's top 5. Duho Choi's unranked.
Duho Choi was ranked before. Duho Choi was right where Kevin Vallejos was at before.
He was
right
what?
Where, listen, right where Kevin Vallejos is right now, Duho Choi was there when he fought Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson was that.
You know how long ago that was, though?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, but history always rewrites itself.
That was 10 years ago.
I understand. I understand. But I'm saying, listen, this is what I'm saying, Pete. This is really what I'm saying. Let me get to the cream of the crop of really what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, it's the fans. I feel like what you're doing is, you're saying it off of the fans. What I think is, me personally, if Kevin Vallejos fights Duho Choi and he loses to Duho Choi, me personally, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Yes, Gene Silva's top 5. He already lost to Gene Silva, so he already showed that he can lose in a very competitive, close fight. He still showed that he could lose, though. You know what I'm saying? Gene Silva got the edge on him. You know what I'm saying? If Duho Choi beats him by split decision, Duho Choi got the edge on him. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to hold that against him. Or if Duho Choi wins by unanimous decision, Duho Choi got the edge on him. Or if Duho Choi gets a late TKO, Duho Choi got the edge on him. Or, right, let's look at the benefits for Kevin Vallejos, right? If Kevin Vallejos beats Duho Choi, as he continues to keep building his crazy resume, he will have that name Duho Choi on his resume. As they look at his fights and they go down fights, because he's going to have so many more fights. He's going to have at least 7 to 8 to 10 to 12 more fights in the UFC, right? So, as they look down his list, they're like, oh, he fought Duho Choi, and he beat him by unanimous decision. Duho Choi, he had that one fight with Cub Swanson. Wait, hold on. Duho Choi's in the Hall of Fame, and he beat this Hall of Famer in Duho Choi. So you add another legend to your list. You know what I'm saying? You'll have Giga Chikadze on your list. You'll have Duho Choi on your list. And you'll have Josh Emmett on your list. And then on top of that, I know Pete, and then on top of that, you're going to be fighting guys like Gene Silva, Yair Rodriguez, Arnold Allen, you know what I'm saying, Movsar Evloya. Your resume will be extremely, extremely stacked, Pete. That's just what I was looking at it. It was a little weird, but think about it, though. That both dudes gain a lot from it. Like, Duho Choi just adds a very good name to his resume, because Duho Choi, if he gets that win, Pete, as Kevin Vallejos progresses and continues to get wins, that win will just look amazing on Duho Choi's resume as he becomes a coach and he just passes off his knowledge, or he just becomes a commentator. Like, whatever Duho Choi wants to do with his life, he'll just have that Kevin Vallejos victory. You know what I'm saying? If that fight were to ever go down, and if he were to get the win. You know what I'm saying? I just think that would have been a good matchup. Duho Choi got 3 straight wins, 3 straight knockouts. You gotta give the man something nice. David Onama is something nice, but I feel like Kevin Vallejos is a little bit something nicer. And he's in the Hall of Fame, so you gotta respect your Hall of Famers. You tell me.
True, but he's in the Hall of Fame for one fight. He's not in the Hall of Fame for his career. That's something that needs to be prefaced. He's in the Hall of Fame for one fight, not for his career accomplishments. I'm not taking away from it. I'm just saying he's not technically a Hall of Famer based off of his career. He's just a Hall of Famer based off of a good fight that he had. But, yeah, UFC, I mean, just realistically, they'll never do that fight. Respectfully, that just won't happen. Duho Choi may get a ranked opponent, but again, his problem, he's got to stay active, and he just hasn't been active throughout the years. So, and, you know, to be honest, there's not a lot of benefit for Kevin Vallejos to beat Duho Choi. I mean, he's had a good UFC career. He's had some good wins, but he's not a legend. I mean, he had a legendary fight with Cub Swanson, but he's just been too inactive over the years. You know, they're looking to push him up to some big names. And, I mean, once you hit the top 10, you're not going to go backwards, especially when they're screwing Brendan Allen over right now, fighting against an unranked opponent in the top 4, but that's pretty rare. It's pretty rare for that to happen. So, I don't know. I think David Onama makes sense, but also there's other fights out there, you know. Like, they could definitely push him up, you know, into the rankings, but I just think with how young Kevin Vallejos is, they're not going to risk him losing that fight, you know. I just think they won't do that, but hey, you never know. We'll see.
How about the birthday boy, Cody Brundage, getting a TKO victory on his birthday?
That was pretty crazy.
Talk to me, Pete.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, no, I literally just turned it on because I was at work and I got home, turned it on, and I literally turned it on right as he knocked him out. I thought it was the beginning of the fight. I thought it was like, oh shit. And I think it was the second round, but they gave him hella chances too. Petrosky, hella chances to recover, but he got slept. Brundage needed that one too. It was a good win though. Shows that he still kind of belongs in the UFC.
I agree. That was a beautiful win. And I hate to say it, but I think that he did beat Dante Johnson. That was just me personally. I feel like he beat him. I feel like he did enough. The fight was very close. It was a good win for Dante Johnson. He remains undefeated. I do want to see how his career shapes out.
Pretty sure it was a split.
It was a split decision victory. It was pretty close. I want to see how Dante Johnson's career turns out. I want to see him keep putting in that work. I want to see him keep working, and I want to see how that career shapes out as you continue to fight. Because of that fight being so close with Cody Brundage, and then Cody Brundage goes out here and gets this knockout, it only makes your win over Cody Brundage a lot more interesting. So I'm just a lot more interested to see how I'm honestly very interested to see who I'm talking about the UFC. I want to see who they match you up against with next. Like, I really want to know who they give Dante Johnson next, because you got a win over Cody Brundage. You did. You got the win and you were undefeated. It's not going to be Marc-Andre Berliot, because he will be fighting Brad Tavares. So I think that would have been a good matchup to really see where he was at. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like Marc-Andre Berliot. But yeah, shout out to Cody Brundage for getting a dub on his birthday. Yeah, that was beautiful. And shout out to Tommy Gant. You know what I'm saying? Undefeated fighter. You know what I'm saying? He moves to 12-0. Yes, he moves to 12-0. Pete. He got a victory over another undefeated fighter. He smothered him. He gave me Khabib Nurmagomedov vibes. What do you think? Talk to me.
Yeah. And once he got on top too, he just laid the hammer down, flattened him out, TKO. It was over from there. And he was just controlling him up against the fence the whole first round. Second round, he was more aggressive, and it was a nice TKO. I think he's going to be good in the lightweight, correct? Yeah, he's a lightweight, right? Yeah, I think he's going to be solid in the lightweight division, honestly. He's pretty big frame, and he's got a really good wrestling pedigree. I know that for a fact. Undefeated now, 12-0. I was looking at his record, too. If you look at it, bro, he had like 7. He wasn't a pro until like 2024, I want to say. He had like 7 fights in 1 year, 2024. So, yeah, he was on a tear. He's kind of just been on a tear. Yeah, he trains with DC too in the Bay Area, AKA. But he's a dog. Definitely.
Jesus Christ, 7 fights in 1 year?
Yeah, because he's older too. Look up his Tapology.
Yo, 7 fights in
Make sure I ain't exaggerating that too much, but it was something like 7 fights.
I had to make sure I heard you right. He trains with DC. You could tell by the way he be. Oh no, he did. He fights a lot. Yeah, he fights a lot. He's very active, and he gets finishes too. Wow. Yo, this is crazy. Yeah, he is older. He's 33 years old.
Yeah, that's why he was so active.
This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, he didn't become a pro till 2024, and he had 1, 2.
He really fights like Khabib though.
Yeah, he was 7-0 in 2024.
How do you think the UFC will push him though? That's a good question.
I don't know. I honestly think that Artur Minaev guy was actually pretty decent too. Like, he was doing decent in the first round, even though he was getting controlled. But he was at least, you know.
Him. I'm sorry. I hope they don't cut him. I really.
What were you saying?
I hope they don't cut him.
Oh yeah, no, they probably won't. Honestly, I think they should give him another fight because he was undefeated, and I think he was honestly like he was holding his own in the wrestling in the first round. Gant wasn't really able to get anywhere. He was still, controlling him the entire time, but he couldn't really take him down. He was just holding him against the fence. But second round, he had that. But I don't know. I think Minaev honestly might be decent. Give him another chance. Gant's a really good prospect. Everyone expected him to win that fight anyway, so yeah. But it'll be interesting to see, what Gant does, if he can't get his wrestling off, if he's going to be able to do the same things, But he's older too, so he's going to have to, move up the ladder quick if he wants to make it into the rankings.
How about Malcolm Wellmaker versus Juan Diaz? Let's give some respect to Juan Diaz first before we even talk about the fight. Juan Diaz, 16-1. His only loss is to a fighter who is 21-1. That should have told you everything. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by it should have told you everything, it should have told you everything about this fight. 16-1. His only loss is to a fighter, which was in a title fight in the promotion that they were fighting in. The fighter is 21 victories with only 1 loss. I don't care who you fighting and how much you fighting. If you are fighting 23 different individuals and you are able to beat 21 of them, you impressive. You impressive. That's his only loss. And then on top of that, he's on a 9. Not 6. Not 7. Not 4. Not 8. 9. 9. He is on a lucky number 9 win streak.
Only real ones know what that means.
Yes,
not 1, not 2.
Yes, sir. If you know, you know. 9 fight win streak. He is a bantamweight. The bantamweight division has stars like Marlon Chito Vera, Charles Jourdain, Sugar Sean O'Malley, Song Yadong, Deiveson Figueiredo. Let me say that again.
Umar Nurmagomedov, Corey Sandhagen,
Petr
Yan, Merab
Dvalishvili. You know what I'm saying? Stars on stars on stars, and on top of that, a spot just opened up in the rankings because Vinicius Oliveira is going up to fight Giga Jekase. So we got a banger in the featherweight division. You know what I'm saying? Vinicius Oliveira just left the rankings of the bantamweight division, and he's about to go fight at featherweight. You know what I'm saying? So he will no longer be a bantamweight. So that division is wide open. Juan Diaz can slide right into the rankings after a beautiful submission victory over Malcolm Wellmaker. Wellmaker. What is next for Malcolm Wellmaker? Pete, talk to me, because this is my thing with Malcolm Wellmaker, right? You got into the UFC, you did your thing, you got your victories, you got your knockouts, but now you hitting that adversity. You know what I'm saying? You hitting that adversity, Pete. This is a point to where we see who a fighter really is and what a fighter is really about. Malcolm Wellmaker, there's only two things you can do here. You can either quit or you can look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, that ain't me. You know what I'm saying? That ain't me. That performance that y'all saw, he's just a better man. Which could be true because if you look at the stats and you look at it on paper, Juan Diaz is the man. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. And me personally, I said it before this fight. If you lose this fight, we can't hold it against you. We can't. The UFC is trying to murder you. And that's fine. That's fine. Because ain't they trying to murder all of us? Think about it. Y'all all fighters and y'all are all fighting at the highest level possible. Of course you're going to run into a fighter that's better than you. Of course you're going to run into a fighter that you're better than. That's just how the UFC works. And the UFC is full of surprises. A lot of people are also surprised that you got submitted. If you think about that, Pete, that's a bonus. You know what I'm saying? That's a bonus. You know what I'm saying? That's a bonus. People were surprised that you got finished. You know what I'm saying? That does say a lot. That was a banger. Shout out to Juan Diaz. I know I talked a lot. I apologize, but you give me your thoughts on that beautiful fight. My bad.
Yeah, no, that's facts. Yeah, no, I don't know, bro. Wellmaker, I think he's still pretty solid, but he's going to need a step down in competition. But I also think it says about how good Juan Diaz is more than it does that Wellmaker's bad, you know? Because Wellmaker still had some great performances. But, you know, Juan Diaz was new to the UFC. He had that crazy spinning elbow, I think, on the Contender Series, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, he's going to be exciting to watch. Now, he's very well-rounded, too. He's explosive on the feet, and he's got a good ground game, too. You know, he got the submission, so I don't know who Wellmaker's going to fight next, you know? Honestly, I mean, I feel like the loser of Cody Garbrandt versus Yanez isn't a bad matchup for him, just because they're both strikers, you know? They're both, you know, more boxing-heavy. But even then, that might be still too much of a push-up in competition. But, yeah, I think he just needs to take a step back in competition. To be fair, though, Ethan Ewing, that's not a bad loss. And I don't think Juan Diaz is a bad loss either. But you don't get paid for losses, you know. You lose half your check, actually, for most of them. So, you know, now he's went from 2-0 and one of the most hyped prospects to 2-2. And low-key fighting for his job. It sucks, too, because he quit his daytime job to do this. And, I mean, I don't know for sure, but he might have to go back to it potentially now. But I still fuck with him. I'm not switching up, you know. I think I'd like to see him come back, get a knockout, build some momentum, and then just, you know, slowly build up. Go from there. Because, like I said, I think Ethan Ewing's a fucking beast. Like, again, not a bad loss. And same with Juan Diaz. I think I would like to see Juan Diaz get a nice step up in competition too. See what he can do. And, you know, if he keeps winning, he's going to be in the rankings sooner than later. But, I mean,
I agree.
What do you think about the main event? I mean, I didn't get to catch the whole main event, to be honest, because I was working. But, you know, it looked like Arnold Allen he dropped him in the first round, I believe, right? Was it the first round he dropped him?
It was either the first or second. It was a very good fight.
First or second? Yeah, so that, and then he had 7 takedowns, controlled Melky had I don't know if he got a takedown, but he took his back in the first round and controlled him for a good amount of time. But Allen still probably won that round. And then from there, Allen just controlled the fight with his takedowns, top pressure. You know, Melky, he honestly had some good moments on the feet. His kicks are always good. He has a nice left hand, and he's got good power. But, I mean, Allen just kind of showed levels to it. And I also do think, you know, Melky hasn't fought 5 rounds before in the UFC, so I think that's going to be a great experience for him. And, you know, I think he'll be back, you know. Give him a step down a little bit in competition, maybe like a Patricio Pitbull, something along those lines, you know, 3 rounds or whatever, and Even a David Onama's not a bad fight for him either, because he's lower in the rankings. But let him get back into it, and then he'll be back. And Arnold Allen, I made the poster today. I want to see him versus Yair Rodriguez, honestly. I've been talking about it a lot lately, but I want to see Yair back. And I don't know where he's been, but apparently he's going to be back after July, so he'll probably fight at UFC Noche in September. I'd like to see him versus Arnold Allen, or honestly, depending on the timeline, Diego Lopez versus Yair Rodriguez still needs to happen, in my opinion. But yeah, Arnold Allen, I'm trying to think who else he could fight right now. He's already fought Gene Silva. He's already fought Movzar. I don't know. I'd have to look into the rankings. If we're being honest, him versus Kevin is a possibility. Probably won't happen, but it is a possibility. That might be a matchup they look to make to try to move Kevin up in the rankings. But all in all, got to give it to almighty Arnold Allen. Great performance. I think he had it 50-45 on 2 judges' scorecards. So, yeah, bad pick by me. Bad night of picks for the team. Sorry, man of Miles Yermaz. Bad night, but we'll bounce back. We'll win again. It's not over. We're still in the fight every day, every night. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. I think it was an all around banger main event. I think both guys are extremely tough. I feel like when Melky did take his back, Allen did a wonderful job of surviving, and then when Arnold Allen did drop Melky Costa did a good job of surviving. I feel like ever since Melky Costa went on this 6-fight win streak, he has the determination of not to be finished. You know what I'm saying? Like, he went into this fight going like, you will not finish me in front of my family, and I just love that for Melky Costa. Beautiful fight. It should have I don't want to say it should have got fight of the night bonus, but like, it definitely was a beautiful fight. I loved it. It was a beautiful fight. That's definitely one of those fights to where if the UFC does ever post that fight in the future when both guys continue to elevate, it can be considered an instant classic. And it was a 5-round fight, so you can post that fight. Like, that was a beautiful fight. But yeah, I feel like that fight was an instant classic. Like, it's just two top contenders in the featherweight division. There's nothing else better that you can ask for. Melky Costa was looking to go on a 7-fight win streak. Arnold Allen was looking to show that he's still a top contender in the featherweight division. So it was a high implication fight for both fighters, and both fighters both had statement performances. And Melky Costa put up very good stats in the fight. So yeah, and a very solid performance. So yeah. But moving on to this week, we got Deiveson Figueiredo taking on Song Yadong. Let me say that one more time. We got Deiveson Figueiredo taking on Song Yadong. Who you got? Talk to me, Pete.
I just think I love Figueiredo, but I just think age-wise, Song's got the advantage. He's got the speed. He's got the power. Figueiredo probably has the grappling advantage, but, I think Song will be able to keep it standing. And it's in Macau. It's in China, so Song's home country. I don't remember the last time Song's fought in China, to be honest, either. It's been a minute if he has in the UFC. I think he has, but it's been a minute. So it's a big deal for him. I know that for sure. And, I got to rep, he's a Sacramento man now too. Coming out of China, fighting out of Sacramento. So I've always fucked with Song Yadong, and I still think that he might have won that O'Malley fight. It was very close, very close. I think I understand why they scored it for O'Malley, and I'm not mad at it. But it was a close fight. I think, regardless of who you scored it for, people have to admit that was a very close fight. O'Malley probably outdamaged him, but Song had some nice control in that fight. But, I think he's going to look to make a statement, and again, I love Figueiredo, I really do, Brasileiro, muito amor, me irmã, but yeah, I don't know, I just think it's age, timing, everything in between. I think this is a good matchup for Song at this time, and we'll probably have another episode before then, so this is just an early prediction, but I think Song can go out in there and get in a finish within the first 4 rounds, I would say. Like 3-4 rounds, he can wear him down, get a finish. I think he could, start landing to the body, kind of soften him up, land to the head. Song's got a lot of power. It's been a minute since he's had a finish too, so I would love to see it. He's got a lot of advantages in this fight, but hey man, can't count out Figgy either. He hits hard too. He does, and he's got good grappling. So it'd be interesting to see. It's a good main event, honestly.
Banger breakdown from the GOAT himself. CPETEMMA 24/8. If you don't know what the 248 stand for, it stand for Kobe. Do your homework, because when Kobe was a rookie, he wore number 8, and when he was a sophomore, he wore number 8, and then when he grew up, he flipped the switch, and he wore number 24. So that's what it stand for. If you know, you know. But Deiveson Figueiredo, Song Yadong, that's a top 5 fight right there. You know what I'm saying? If that's not top 5, it's not top 5, because Deiveson Figueiredo did go down in the rankings just a little bit. After his fight against Umar Nurmagomedov, he was like number 6. He moved down to number 7 after losing to a top 5 opponent in Umar Nurmagomedov. He fell under Amin Zahabi. Just to put that out there for the people who didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a weird fact. You know what I'm saying? He fought somebody who was ranked above him and the person that was clearly ranked under him, and he fell down to somebody who was ranked under him in Amin Zahabi. It could have been a weird tactic because they wanted to put Amin Zahabi versus Sugar Sean O'Malley on the White House. I just wanted to put that out there for anybody who just was looking at the rankings. If y'all didn't notice that, he fought somebody who was ranked above him and fell down in the rankings. I don't know. You tell me. You know what I'm saying? You tell me how you feel about that. But Deiveson Figueiredo versus Song Yadong, that is going to be a banger. I don't care what anybody says, because Deiveson Figueiredo in his last fight, he had to deal with a grappler. And when I mean he had to deal with a grappler, he didn't just deal with any type of grappler. He dealt with a grappler that wants to win. A grappler that wants to win are the worst type of fighters to go against, because they just want to win. They don't care about what the people got to say. They could care less about what we think. They can care less about what CP thinks. They can care less about what CAMTalksMMA thinks. They can care less about what Leaders of Tomorrow thinks. They can care less about what AJ MMA thinks. They can care less about what MMA Butter thinks. They could care less about what Peak Framer thinks. You know what I'm saying? They could care less about any of that. They just want to win. Deiveson Figueiredo had to deal with that his last fight, and he did not get finished. Shout out to you, Deiveson Figueiredo, because Umar Nurmagomedov did show that he can finish people, because he finished Hane Barcelos. You know what I'm saying? Who is now ranked in that same division that both of you guys are fighting in. Me personally, if we had to pick a fighter for this fight, I'm going with Deiveson Figueiredo. Song Yadong hasn't showed me anything yet. Yeah, Song Yadong hasn't showed me anything yet. But, fun fact, I do think that he beat Sugar Sean O'Malley, but I think that fight was lackluster from both. You get what I'm saying? I feel like that fight was missing something. When you got Sugar Sean O'Malley fighting and you got Song Yadong fighting, you know you got a banger. Me personally, I feel like that fight was a banger, but y'all should have been fighting in the main event. In this main event. This should be the main event. The main event of this fight, call me crazy, Pete. Turn your mic on right now and go like, Cam, absolutely not. But I think that this fight should be Song Yadong versus Sean O'Malley. that would be so much better because
They just fought though.
I know, but I'm saying that fight should have never happened.
Should have been what?
That fight should have never happened. Or, my bad. This should be, my bad. I'm sorry, y'all. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I had a complete brain fart. This should be Song Yadong versus Sean O'Malley 2. No. No, I'm for real. Because no, the fight was so close. It was no winner. That was the title. Oh, it can't be Sean O'Malley because he about to fight at the White House.
Yeah, but at least they didn't give O'Malley a title fight, you know?
No, because O'Malley about to fight at the White House. What am I talking about? No, instead of Sean O'Malley, let me really explain what I was. Oh my goodness, hold on. My bad. Let me explain what I was trying to say, because what I'm trying to say just makes no sense, because O'Malley's about to fight Ayman Zahabi at the White House, so he won't be able to fight, and Song Yadong is about to fight Deiveson Figueiredo, so the fight just won't add up. But what I was trying to say was, instead of their fight that happened at UFC 324, which was the co-main event, I feel like they should be fighting in their main event, because that fight should have 100% been a 5-round fight. That's what I was trying to say. And I know I was 100% wrong. I wish that the fight between Sugar Sean O'Malley and Song Yadong was a 5-round fight, because that fight was just.
I think it was just because it got pushed to the co-main event hella late. Because remember, it was supposed to be Nunes versus Harrison. That fight got dropped off at the last minute. So I think they just didn't have enough time to prepare for 5 rounds. But I do agree. I honestly think on a big pay-per-view, even if it's not a title fight, co-main event should be 5. Just it makes sense, you know. If it's a high-stake fight, you know, throw them a little extra cheddar, make it happen.
I agree. That's more fight time.
They've been doing that more lately too. Like, remember 2024, they started doing more 5-round co-mains. Like BSD versus Dustin was a 5-round co-main, even though it didn't go 5 rounds. But I remember that.
And then the one with Ortega and Aljamain Sterling, that was a 5-round fight.
Which one? Ortega and Aljo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was 5 rounds.
The main event.
Nah, it wasn't. That was Johnny Walker versus Ming Yang Jiang.
Mm-hmm. That was a banger main event. Johnny Walker.
Jonathan Walker. Jonathan going
Jonathan, I love that. You're
Jonathan Walker. In the war room, sipping on the Johnny Walker.
Hey, shout out to Owen, bro. Owen the real.
Shout out to Owen.
Hey, that's P. Hey, that's me and P homie.
Hey man, shout out Philly.
That's me and P homie, bro. Shout out to Owen. My bad, I had to throw him that shout out in there. That's a real. He a real one. Oh, bro, he a real one. He really exclusive. Like, he doesn't understand. He's a brother. You know what I'm saying? He exclusive. You know what I'm saying? That's a brother right there. For sure. For surely.
For surely.
For surely, that's the brother. But me personally, I gotta go with Deiveson Figueiredo, because Song Yadong, he hasn't showed me nothing yet. You know what I'm saying? He been in his fights. But me personally, I don't think he should be in the top 5. And I think he should have been fighting Ayman Zahabi. You know what I'm saying? If Song Yadong beats Ayman Zahabi, then he tough. If Sean O'Malley beats Ayman Zahabi, then he's tough. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, Cam Talks MMA is just not sold on these fighters, but he loves these fighters. You get what I'm saying? Big difference. I'm just not sold on the sugar. Me personally,
you're sold on Ayman Zahabi, but you're not sold on O'Malley?
I'm actually sold on Marlon Cheeto Vera, somebody that Ayman Zahabi beat. So technically, yeah.
Someone that O'Malley 50-45.
But didn't he give O'Malley his first loss? His only.
He did.
He's the listen.
But to be
let's
fair,
talk about it, P. Let's talk about it, P.
O'Malley got injured in that fight.
P. He was perfectly fine going into the fight, though, right? I mean,
yeah, no, he fucked up his leg in the fight when he got kicked.
Right, but he was perfectly fine going into the fight, though, right? I mean, that's what I think.
I don't know for sure, to be honest. I mean, none of us really know. Most of the time, none of them are perfectly good going into the fight.
Man, I think he was alright. I think O'Malley was alright. See, the thing is, I'm sold on Chito Vera. Chito Vera a real fighter.
How can you be sold on him? He's lost 4 in a row.
Because he beat some legends.
Nah, brother, you're.
I'm living
with
in
all
the
due
past.
respect, you can't be sold on someone who's lost 4 in a row. What's there to be sold on? The only thing he's selling right now is L's. Left and right.
Again, listen though. Technically though, I'm not trying to defend nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to defend nobody. But technically though, Pete, if we break it down though, Pete, let's break down the last 4 people he lost to. Do you want to do that right now, or do you want to talk about
break down his losses?
Yes, let's break down his losses and how good the person that he lost to is, and how close the fight.
50-45 by O'Malley, 30-27 by Figueiredo.
O'Malley's what? Top 3, top 2, number 1 contender.
He was a champion when he beat him.
But O'Malley's the number 1 contender right now.
And then he lost to David Martin.
Mr. Hobby's the number 6 contender in the world on the 7-fight win streak, right?
Right, but it doesn't matter if you keep losing. It doesn't matter how good they are.
David Martinez is on like a 10-fight. David Martinez is on a 10-fight win streak.
Yeah, no, he's losing to good fighters. It's the UFC, and he's ranked though. You know what I mean?
And Deiveson Figueiredo
fight good fighters every single fight.
Deiveson Figueiredo's top 7, and he's a former title holder.
True.
And he's top 7. And
he's also been on a pretty bad losing streak too. He's lost 3 out of 4.
He beat Montel Jackson. He beat Montel Jackson.
Barely beat him by split, and he got 30-27 in his last fight against Figueiredo. Or against Umar.
I was about to say, he just threw me off for a second. Right, his last fight against Barcelos. Yeah.
He lost 3 out of his last 4. He lost to Peter Yan unanimous. Corey Sandhagen, TKO.
And Peter Yan's what? The champion? The champion.
Split decision, Montel, and then lost to unanimous to Umar.
Right, and Umar's what, number 2? So it's like, these losses ain't really losses. They
are though.
No, they are, but they top 5 guys.
A couple. He might be 1 away from being out of the UFC. You just got to be realistic.
Who?
Might be 1. Who do you think? Well, the guy that's lost 4 in a row.
Wait,
you can defend him all you want, but
Chito Vera's
like
on the way
defended Mayra Buena Silva, and where's she at now?
You said you. Why you making me laugh though, bro? I'm not trying to.
I'm just keeping it a buck with you. I'm just saying they are good losses, but at a certain point, it doesn't matter how many good losses you have. If you keep losing, you're going to be out of the UFC.
Respect. Respect.
I'm not saying I want him out of the UFC. He's a fun fighter. He's a good fighter. I'm just saying he needs to get a win. Otherwise, it's going to be bad soon. Shit, even Michael Bisping said it, and Michael Bisping trained with him, and he's good friends with him, and they live near each other. He literally even said that he needs to get a win. Otherwise, the UFC might start looking at letting him go. And Michael Bisping works for the UFC. So he's not saying that. Neither of us are saying that with malicious intent. It's just,
but he's top 10 though.
Is he still top 10?
Yes.
Chito Vera, what is he ranked? Is he 10?
I know. See, my thing is, if Chito Vera is top 10, the fact that we talking about Chito Vera getting cut on video is crazy. Like, bro, we look crazy talking about Chito getting cut.
Bro, he's lost 4 in a row. It's not crazy. It's realistic.
Right, because they cut Gelate Almeida. No, you're right. I'm not discrediting nothing you say, because you are a valid source, Pete. I know I'm giving you your credit.
I'm just saying, if he loses again, that's 5, right? And then if he loses again, that's 6.
If he loses again, that's 5.
He only has so many more fights on his contract. They're probably not going to re-up him.
And yes, Marlon Vera is number 10 on the dot. He's number 10 right on the dot. And his last fight was to David Martinez, who is currently number 9. And the other fight was to current number 6. And the other fight was to current number 7. And the other fight was to current number 2. who is tied with the other number 2, which is Umar Nurmagomedov, who we're talking
But
about.
you're also stating what they're ranked now.
We still on video, so I'm tripping. I'm thinking I'm talking to you off video. I'm talking to you off video. My man, Pete. But no, Pete, he lost to people that are all in the top 10. My thing, Pete, this is me talking to you, Pete. I don't understand how that doesn't mean anything to you. We just, the thing is, Pete, we look at MMA 2 different ways, and we have to, as brothers, we have to understand that. You look at MMA this way, I look at MMA this way. Yes, he's on a 4-fight losing streak. One of those 4 fights was a title fight, and then the other 3 fights was all top 10 opponents. So me personally, same thing with Jamal Hill. He's in the same situation. He's on a 3 to 4 fight losing streak. All top 5 guys. You know what I'm saying? That's different. His situation is a little bit better because all the dudes he lost to was in the top 5. All the dude Cheeto lost to is in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to be technical, top 7. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I'm saying. So we just looking at MMA 2 different ways. Me personally, he's number 10. But
you're also just a huge fan of him, though. So you're gonna go out of your way to defend him respectfully.
Fair enough, but also
you don't want to see him out of the UFC. Hey, I don't either. But at a certain point, especially the problem is he's losing fights that he can win, and you know at a certain point the UFC is going to be like, what the fuck.
But I've defended other fighters though. Don't act like I haven't defended Jelante Almeida.
True.
Alex, I'll defend him again right now because I'm going to defend fighters who belong in the UFC.
But he was winning fights. That's a different argument, you know? He was winning fights.
He lost his last fight to Rizvan Kunayev and they cut him.
He did, but listen, he also, in his whole UFC career, he only lost 2 fights.
He was robbed by Alexander Volkov, so he only lost 1 fight.
Fights. He was like 9-3, and the Volkov fight was robbery.
Kunayev, and then
Kunayev played.
He got knocked out by somebody. He got knocked out by Blaze. Yeah. So he lost 3 fights. He lost 3 times. Fair enough. I don't think he should have been cut. Farid Bashara should not have been cut. Lucas Almeida should not have been cut. A lot of people don't know Lucas Almeida. He's a Brazilian. He's tough. If y'all don't know, he had a wonderful fight with Andre Fili. That's when I became a fan of him. I'm like, oh my God, that was a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Who else shouldn't have been cut? Kobe Covington. He shouldn't have been cut from the UFC.
Bakradinov.
That's another one, Pete. He should 100% be in the UFC. Wasn't his last fight a TKO victory?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He was undefeated in the UFC.
Undefeated in the UFC, 1 loss.
But, I mean, the difference is, Cheeto's fight style favors him more when he's winning. But that's the thing. It's just when he's winning, you know, he's got to get a knockout. But I think they just got to put him up against someone who's, you know, a little either lower in the top 15 or slightly out of the rankings.
Charles Jourdain called him out. I think he would beat Charles Jourdain. But this is also another thing, though, I wanted to talk about. Deiveson Figueiredo, to pick back up on that, Deiveson Figueiredo beat Marlon Chito Vera, and he also beat Montel Jackson. That's 2 wins, you know what I'm saying? That's 2. Those ain't recent, but those is kind of recent, you know what I'm saying? Those are his recent fights, you know what I'm saying? Recent-ish fights. Recent out of his last 4 fights, you know what I'm saying? Montel Jackson, you know what I'm saying? I can confirm it right now, you know what I'm saying? Just to make sure.
The last fight, he lost to Umar. Then he beat Jackson by split decision.
Oh, no, I'm super wrong.
And then I'm pretty sure he lost to Corey Sandhagen before that.
You right. So last 5 fights, right? So no, you right.
The Figueiredo fight was in Figueiredo versus Vera was in August of 2024.
Right. So same things. Figueiredo in the same situation, kinda, but he has that win over Montel Jackson. But listen though, so this the thing with Figueiredo. He lost to a top 5 guy in Corey Sandhagen. He lost to the champion in Peter Yan, and he just lost to the number 2 and Ronda Magomedov. Kind of the same situation. Lost his last 3 out of 4. You know what I'm saying? Kind of the same situation. If he loses this fight, it'll be his last 4 out of 5 losses. You know what I'm saying? That'd be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Kind of on the similar path. You know what I'm saying? But against top 5 guys, though. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I think Figueiredo just levels above Song Yadong. If we go resume for resume, I think he has the better resume. I think he has the more experience. I don't think Song Yadong has the experience to beat somebody like Deiveson Figueiredo. Deiveson Figueiredo beats people that are better than him. And that's a fact. I mean, no. He beats people that he is better than. You know what I'm saying? Which is clearly a fact if he's beating them. But, like, people that he's better than, he beats them. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to explain. I just hope you understand what I'm trying to say. But, like, the fights that he's supposed to win, he wins. The fights that he's supposed to lose, he loses. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the fighter to where, okay, Deiveson Figueiredo versus Marlon Chito Vera, who are you taking? You probably taking Deiveson Figueiredo. He won that fight. You know what I'm saying? Deiveson Figueiredo versus Alessandro Pantoja at the time when they fought, you would have took at that time you would have took Deiveson Figueiredo. He won that fight. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, he wins the fight he's supposed to win. Fights that when the guy is a little bit more skilled than Figueiredo. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but to be honest with you, this is not a fight he's supposed to win. I guarantee you he's not going to be the favorite in this fight. Why would they're sending him out to China on the other side of the world to go fight a Chinese guy, you know? They want Song Yadong to win this fight. He's younger, he's the prospect, and he's faster, he's way bigger, he hits harder. Figueiredo's whole career, I mean, he was kind of just a weight bully. He's a great fighter, but when he was at 125, he was just bullying guys around and fucking people up. But since he's moved up to 135, he's been good, but again, like you said, he's not beating the elite. He hasn't beat anyone in the top 5 yet, so. But it'd be interesting to see. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't say Figueiredo's levels above Yadong, though. That's definitely not true in my opinion, because, yeah, maybe at flyweight he had a lot of accomplishments, but at bantamweight he hasn't been levels above Song Yadong. But it'd be interesting to see what happens, honestly. But I just think Figueiredo's getting old, and like you said, if he loses this, it's 4 out of 5, so it's not going to be a good look. But he could win, but I don't know. I think 5 rounds is definitely going to favor Song Yadong, especially in China. If it's a close decision, he's going to have the home crowd on his side for sure.
One thing about me is I'm a moments dude. Deiveson Figueiredo has this moment that will forever just stick with me. Is after when he beat Montel Jackson, he said Merab Dvalishvili, because Merab was the champ at the time. He said, Merab Dvalishvili, I'm coming for you. You know what I'm saying? And he did that in front of the Brazil crowd, and that has just always stuck with me. It just felt so good to just see him crying because he just got a victory over Montel Jackson, and he said, Merab, I'm coming for you, because basically what he was saying is, I came up from flyweight to bantamweight to become the champion of this division. Merab was the champ at the time, so he was making his call out to Merab. That was just so beautiful. But moving on to Sergey. Shout out to UFC Breaks. He's a YouTuber that I watch. He says Pavlovich. I don't know why he says it like that. Pavlovich. It just been in my head the way he says it. He just says it like Pavlovich. Sergey Pavlovich. You know what I'm saying? You know how I said it? I said it with Pavlovich. He says Pavlovich. Sergey Pavlovich taking on Taliesin 6'7". How you like that? You like how I put that? He didn't see that one coming. He had to turn the camera off on me. We got Sergey Pavlovich taking on Taliesin 6'7". Yes, sir. 6'7". Teixeira. Yes, sir. That fight is going to be a banger. Yes, sir. You heard it. That fight is gonna be a banger. That fight is gonna be a. That fight is gonna be a banger. We got 6'7" coming off of a dub against Tai Tuivasa. Tai Tuivasa. He got a dub over Tai Tuivasa. And that fight was a scrap. Tai Tuivasa was letting off bombs. Deiveson Figueiredo was letting off bombs too. That fight was a banger. I think that this fight can potentially go down as fight of the night. This fight is no way this fight goes the distance, Pete. You give me your thoughts, but me personally, I'm leaning towards Deiveson Figueiredo because I did say that he was going to be a star, Pete, and you looking at me like I ain't got no brain cells, which I probably don't because it's 4:30 in the morning. But I do because let me talk to you.
I mean, it's heavyweight, so anything could happen. Last time Pavlovich fought a guy who was...
Don't listen. don't try to discredit my pick because listen, this is what I'm trying to say. Pete, talk to me. I'm trying to say, I said that Deiveson Figueiredo will be a star. I said that before he fought Tai Tuivasa. He lost to Derek Lewis. I know that, but Derek Lewis low-key cheated just a little bit. I ain't gonna say he cheated. I ain't gonna say he cheated. I ain't gonna say he cheated, but he cheated just a little bit because he lied. You know what I'm saying? He lied. You know what I'm saying? He lied, and it's okay because everybody lied before. Like everybody done lied before. Like it happens. But he lied. He tried to say I got eye poke, so he stopped. You know what I'm saying? Because he think he gotta stop. Derek Lewis, boom, you know what I'm saying? Hit him, and then Deiveson Figueiredo falls down, tries to get up using the cage. They stop the fight. Some people said it was an early stoppage. I don't know. Derek Lewis got the victory. That was a big body victory. That was a big win. But technically, looking back on it, Pete, and I ain't even trying to get up on the topic because I am trying to talk about the fight between Deiveson Figueiredo and Sergey Pavlovich. But looking back on it, the fight between Waldo Cortez Acosta and Derek Lewis, the way that Derek Lewis quit that fight, right? Okay, keep that in your head. It makes you think if he didn't cheat against Deiveson Figueiredo, what would have happened? Who knows? Because the fights weren't that far apart. I just wanted to put that in people's head. But I think Deiveson Figueiredo will get the dub over Sergey Pavlovich. Shout out to UFC Breaks. So yeah, that's my pick. I think Deiveson Figueiredo will get the dub.
Yeah, I don't know, but
hold on, before you go, I think he will also get the dub and join the top 3. Yes, Pete.
I mean, if he wins, he'll be up there, but I just think that's, I don't know. It's possible. Like I said, it's heavyweight. He's big. He's 6'7". But, bro, his fight against Tuivasa was fucking ugly, bro. It was awful. It was one of the worst fights I've seen in my life. And I'm not even joking. He gassed the fuck out. Like, bro, two professional athletes should not have that horrible of cardio. I'm sorry. You guys gotta fucking hit the gym, brothers. But Teixeira's good, and he's got crazy... His first knockout against Tafa was hella good. He folded him, but Pavlovich is a different animal, bro. And he's only lost to Aspinall, Overeem, and Volkov so far in the UFC. And he's on a nice little 2-fight win streak. He's been kind of conservative in his last fights, but I think he's more technical. He's got very good boxing. He's got the power too. And I'm hoping we see the old Sergey just go in and fucking throw some combos and knock his ass out. But it could go either way. But yeah, no, Pavlovich is going to be a heavy favorite here. And respectfully, I think Teixeira's a pretty crazy pick, but we'll see. We will see. But yeah, Pavlovich, I mean, you seen MMA Butter's early pick. He said Pavlovich to win, and then he didn't have the odds for the KO prop, and I agree all day. Shout out MMA Butter. I'm going to go Pavlovich is going to get the KO either round 1 or round 2, and yeah, I mean, we'll see. Again, we'll see, but anyways, it was good talking with you, brother. It was a good night of conversation of fights. was good. Much love to everyone out there. Shout out to Talita. Shout out to Amanda Hebos, Marcelo Hebos, Karini Silva. Let's see. I know I'm forgetting some. Natalia Silva, Alexa Grasso, everyone. All the Linda Molers and Brasileiras. Amen.
Hold on. Shout out to Katlin Vieira for the beautiful victory. Shout out to Amanda Lemo. Shout out to Karini Killa Silva. Shout out to Julia Palastri. Shout out to Talita Alencar. Shout out to Melissa Gatto. Shout out to Daniel Santos. Shout out to Duho
Juliana Miller.
Facts. You funny as fuck. Shout out to Dominic Cruz. Shout out to Maroon. Chito Vera. Shout out to Milk Costa. And shout out to MMA Butter. AJ MMA. Shout out to Jose.
Soups MMA. Shout out
to
Andrea.
Jose. Oh yeah, fact. Shout out to Soups MMA. That's the GOAT. And shout out to my dog Prop. Fact. Shout out to Thai Fight Club. Facts.
Boa noite.
Facts. And shout out to my brother CP for making this all possible. Y'all know this. All of this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for CP. So you always gotta give that love and respect to the brother. And it's the return of the Mac. Shout out to CP. He the brother. He my brother. Yes, I can't rap, y'all. But shout out to CP. That's the goal. Much love, y'all. Much love.
Amen, brother. Shout out you likewise. And shout out Peterson Vieira.
Facts.
Boa noite.
Big facts.